This that no nonsense. I'm coming to another video talking about Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid is nothing more to me now than a front runner. He's a guy that likes to cheer, right? He likes to talk trash, and it's become his brand, right? When you can do something well and the media has taken a liking to it, these guys go overboard with it. You look at Russell Westbrook with the triple doubles, right? At first it's authentic, then it goes overboard. Like I said, Russell Westbrook the triple doubles, James Harden scoring 40 points, and Joel Embiid with the trash talking, right, etc. They go overboard to their detriment and to the team's detriment. So Joel Embiid is nothing more than a front runner. They can win at home, but they can't win on the road, right? That tells me that they're a young team. That tells me they're not a championship team, right? And they're going to lose in the playoffs, like I've predicted them to lose. They lack chemistry. They lack shooters. Ben Simmons doesn't have fire. Joel has poor conditioning, right? He got motivated, but he's going to ultimately break down, right? And their coach, like I said, when they lost to Boston without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, they should have got rid of him. There's two types of coaches. There's developmental coach and there's a championship coach. Developmental coaches are mostly the star player's friend. Then you get the championship coach, right? And he takes them over the hump. When they had all them shooters, when they lost to Boston without Kyrie and Gordon, right? They had spacing. They had a whole bunch of shooters. It was Ben and Joel. Mike Budenholzer would have been a perfect coach for that. That was before the Bucks got him. So they're going to talk about it.
The Hawks and the Sixers. Get my basketball guys in here. Farnham, how about the Sixers and Joel Embiid playing without Ben Simmons, who has a back and he's going to be out a while, and Embiid in the first half flat dominated.
Yeah, the number of touches that Joel Embiid gets when Ben Simmons out raises by about 7 or...
This is hilarious to me, man. This is absolutely hilarious to me. Like, I know this brother ain't finna start cheering on this Atlanta Hawks team, right? A team that's probably the second worst defensive team in the league. Them and the Wizards are so horrible defensively, right? Allowing about 117 a game. It's like, it's ridiculous.
8 touches per game. He made the most of them, shooting 71% from the field.
Because he's in the post, right? You analytical nerds saying that he should jack up threes all game and that'll make Sixers better. The only reason why he's on the three-point line is because Ben Simmons can't shoot, right? But like I said, he needs to be in the post to track double teams and kick out. He needs to play inside out. That's how this Philadelphia 76ers team is going to thrive.
In the course of the game.
He was 8.
But that won't happen with Ben Simmons. And their coach, Brett Brown, is not smart enough to incorporate Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, right, in the way that can make their offense shine. They traded away a lot of shooters to get a superstar because they didn't have faith that Joel and Ben could close, right? So Jimmy Butler was their star, right? He was their leader. He was their closer. He left. So now they got Tobias Harris. They signed a glue guy to a horrible contract. I know Al Horford went to church and started thanking the Lord for that contract, right? He's a glue guy. And so now they're stuck. They don't have enough shooting.
10 from the floor in the first half, 21 points at halftime, and the Sixers had a 17-point lead. But fourth quarter, and we're tied. And Embiid, again, taking over by himself. Look at him working hard inside.
Yeah, so strong. His footwork is elite. When he plays with this type of motor and this sense of purpose, you can get excited.
No, just say that he was playing in the post, right?
Okay, yeah, this is the potential of what we could see every night.
Takes it strong. That one put him at 40 now.
These little analysts that be on TV, they try to pretend they know the game by saying something that's so correct. It's so hilarious to me. Man, if he works on his potential, man, if he keeps practicing, then he's going to show that what we always think about him. He's going to be great every night. It's so hilarious to me that they got these guys just talk PC. Just talk PC. You know they up here just to promote an agenda, right? Or just to take away time or to worship LeBron. Or Zion now, because Zion is going to be the guy that the NBA want to throw the pretty much the mantle to, the torch, give the torch to. Or the guy they want them to worship, or they're going to get a bunch of people to talk bad about a guy when he talks bad about the media, like a KD or a Kyrie, etc. But when they have to talk about the game, then they're going to talk extremely PC, right? Now they get a whole bunch of NBA players to do that now, because at first it was ridiculous. Now they get Jalen Rose. Now they're trying to get Kendrick Perkins. They're going to get Matt Barnes. They're going to get a whole bunch of ex-NBA players to try to break down the game because they don't have no breaking down skills. Only thing they can do is be PC about it and state the obvious.
Here he goes, looking to go up to 42 as he continues. If at first you don't succeed, he tries again. He's in there now. He's at 44 points. A minute left, and they have extended the lead to a comfortable place. Now he's looking for his career high, and he's got it.
Just, again, look at where a lot of these baskets are coming from. They're 5 feet in. He's dominating underneath. This is the one to try to give him a brand-new career high, showing the distance, the range, and then having fun, a little Hulk Hogan-esque right there.
49 points on the night for Embiid, but then it ends in interesting fashion. Look at this. The game is going to end now. He's just going to dribble out the clock in the front court, but Kevin Huerter has other ideas.
Kevin Huerter got mad. That's what happens when you talk trash too much, right? A lot of guys would say knock him down. Joel Embiid injury prone too.
Yeah, this caused a fight.
But don't be cheering on us. We're the worst team in the league, man.
By the way, Kansas last month when you did this. Embiid, he didn't want to fight. He just wanted to say hello.
He didn't like it, but one way or another, at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. He would apologize for that little hand gesture there, but no apologizing for the performance. Sixers and Embiid, big night.
Best player in the world, right?
I mean, I think, yeah, I believe I am. But when I made that statement, I didn't actually say that I was.
No, bro. You said you was the best player in the world, and you feel like you're the best player in the world against bad teams. But when you get embarrassed, you get humbled. So you're saying that, well, I'm the best player in the world when I play well. But you know how dumb this sounds on the internet, because the best player, or on TV, because the best player in the world is someone that performs consistently.
And that, you know, being with, you know, some of the best players in the world and I proved myself. That's what I said. But yeah, my bad. I do believe it.
When I play well, I'm the best player in the world. I'm the best player in the world when I play well. When I don't, I'm Raymond Felton.
You know, when I play like tonight, you know, anything can happen. And I also want to say sorry for what I did at the end of the game. Y'all probably saw that on TV. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Look, this Joel Embiid having fun, as he said he's doing, is kind of fun to watch. But, Perk, you're not buying the 76ers. Why?
I'm not, and it's disturbing.
Why that chick right there look like she just got baptized?
Watch this. I mean, he's all hyped up because he dominated the worst team in the league. We're talking about...
Thank you, Kendrick Perkins. Thank you. Iron sharpens iron, right? You want to play against the teams that you claim you're at your echelon to get better or to see where you at, right? The 76ers, and he knows in his mind that he's not where they at because he can't celebrate against them. He can't celebrate against the Bucks. He can't celebrate against apparently against the Lakers, right? Or against all the teams. So he gets to celebrate against the Hawks because that's where he's truly at, mentally, right? They're a talented team, but they're not at the upper echelons, right, as a championship contender. They're not that. They want to be that, right? But they're not that. Mentally, he's where the Hawks at.
The Atlanta Hawks right now, a team that's 17-42. To me, Joel Embiid, the 76ers, they're front runners.
Thank you. I said the exact same thing. Keep in mind, I didn't see this video, right? I saw Kendrick Perkins is disturbed by Joel Embiid highlights, and I haven't did a 76ers video, and I wanted to do one like so long, but I never really got a chance to. So now I get to do it, right? So this is my first time actually seeing it as I'm recording. So I'm doing this off pretty much freestyling it, right? Usually I try to watch the video, and then I see that I like the video, and I try to make a video on it. But he said the perfect word. They're front runners. When things go good, they like to celebrate, but they can't handle things when it goes bad. That's the mindset of a child. They're a young team, and they don't have a championship mindset.
A title contender at home, but on the road, they're a lottery team. And why didn't I see this same energy just this past Saturday when he went up against the Greek, the real MVP, the best player in the league? No, he disappeared. So I don't want to see him doing this against Huerter and, you know, Trae Young and all those guys, this young Atlanta Hawks team. This doesn't impress me one bit.
Yeah, I'd follow.
Look at this man. Atlanta Hawks ranked 28 in NBA in defense efficiency. If you just look at the defensive numbers, teams are actually allowing 117, 118. At one point, the Wizards were allowing 121 points a game.
We were talking about this yesterday. There's multiple times.
They're allowing points that you used to have to play 3 overtimes to get.
that game against the Bucks where his hands were down, he's gapping up, giving 10, 15 feet to Giannis, and Giannis is sitting there going, okay, this is like me warming up, knocking down shots. You've got to bring this level of intensity every single night. Now, last night, their efficiency was off the charts. 51% from the field, 40% from three, and then 90% from the free throw line. That's great. But as you said, they're doing this at home. I don't buy this team one bit based on the fact that when they go on the road, they're extremely different. And, oh, by the way, now they're going to have to do it without Ben Simmons.
Correct.
Oh, and by the way, they don't have home court advantage.
Extended period of time.
That's the big oh, by the way. How much do they wind up missing him?
I think they miss him a ton because of his playmaking ability, his a feel for the game. And not only that, he has emerged into a very solid defensive player on the outside.
Ben Simmons is a combination of a souped-up Draymond Green, and Alonzo Ball, right? He's a very great player. He's a souped-up Alonzo Ball and a Draymond Green. His playmaking ability is effective on a fast break. He likes to speed up the game, right? But he's absolutely, and I mean absolutely, useless on the half court against a great defensive team, which he's going to face in the East. He's going to face in Milwaukee. He's going to face Boston. A lot of these guys try to say, hey, I disagree with that. So let me go on the internet, or let me go on the game and see is this true, and they go against a bad defensive team, right? But when they go in the playoffs, this is why I judge on the playoffs, right? Then I get to see what they can do. Now, obviously, when you go up against a great defensive team, you're not going to shoot the numbers that you shoot in the regular season. However, you're supposed to do some form of what you're good at because you are a star or a superstar. He's not going to be effective in the half court, right? He's not going to be effective in the half court.
So when you're missing that defense.
But Philadelphia is going to compete with Milwaukee simply because the Milwaukee also likes to run the fast break. If Milwaukee could find a good half-court offense, a team with a great half-court offense, I could see the Houston Rockets beating them because their half-court offense is James Harden and Russ isolating, right? A team with a great half-court offense that could slow down the game, the 76ers is going to struggle against, right? Now, if you like to run up and down the court and you have no defense, they're going to run through you. That's what the 76ers like to do. Ben Simmons likes to run on the fast break. But the brother can't shoot and it's going to come back to haunt him. And it's going to force Joel Embiid to space the floor like it always does, right? But if you put Joel in the post, it's going to put Ben on the three-point line and make him practically useless in the half court.
On the road, all of a sudden it takes you down yet another notch for a team that already struggling there.
With or without Simmons, my concern still exists with the 76ers. I think they're not a well-put-together team. I'm not a big fan of Brett Brown at all.
I was never a fan of Brett Brown when they lost to Boston without Kyrie or Gordon Hayward. Their offense was just a bunch of folks throwing up threes, and they was hitting them at a high rate, at least a high enough rate. And they went against a great defensive team in Boston, right? And it came down to the half-court skills, and Joel Embiid was inconsistent, right? He has slow reflexes. His reflexes was even slower. Now he touched up on it a bit, but his reflexes were a lot slower when he went against Boston. And Ben Simmons obviously was completely useless in the half-court, and Brett Brown didn't adjust.
Wasn't high on them from the start of the season, and I'm still not high on them. I think they'll be out first, second round easy.
Tim Legler predicted it last week. He said he believes Sixers will go out in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, that depends on the team they face. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and this that no nonsense.